Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because today's story is not just about an old coin. It is about a hidden treasure that many people ignored for years. Somewhere in the world, a simple South African 2 rand coin from 2004 could be sitting inside a drawer, an old wallet, or a forgotten coin collection, while its value shocks collectors everywhere. Most people never notice these rare coins because they look ordinary at first glance. But experienced collectors know the truth. Sometimes the smallest piece of metal can carry a fortune. Now imagine this. A man cleaning his late father's storage box finds a handful of old coins wrapped in cloth. Dust everywhere. Nothing looked special, but one coin stood out. A 2004 South African 2 rand coin. He almost spent it at a local shop without thinking twice. Thankfully, another collector stopped him and said, "Never spend old coins before checking them carefully." That single moment changed everything. The South African 2 rand coin has always been respected among collectors because South Africa has a rich history of coin production. The designs often represent national pride, wildlife, history, and economic identity. But the 2004 edition became especially interesting because some rare versions reportedly showed unusual minting details, sharp strikes, and collector-grade preservation that made experts pay serious attention. What makes older men especially fascinated by coins like this is not only the money. It is the thrill of discovery. Men who spent years working hard understand the importance of value hidden beneath the surface. A rare coin represents patience, wisdom, and experience. It reminds people that treasures still exist in ordinary life. You do not need to dig underground or search oceans. Sometimes the treasure is already inside your home. Collectors often say the difference between an ordinary coin and a valuable coin can be incredibly small. Maybe a slight design variation. Maybe a minting error. Maybe an extremely limited release. To normal people, all coins look the same. But to trained collectors, tiny details separate common coins from life-changing finds. The 2004 2 rand coin became surrounded by rumors in collector communities. Some believed a limited batch was produced differently. Others claimed a few coins escaped quality checks with unique features that increased demand among international buyers. As these stories spread, more people began checking old jars and collections. Suddenly, attention exploded. Across auction groups and collector circles, people started competing fiercely for rare African coins. South African currency gained respect worldwide because of its beautiful designs and historical importance. Wealthy collectors from different countries became interested in acquiring pieces connected to African monetary history. And when demand rises while supply stays limited, prices can rise dramatically. Now here is something many viewers may not know. The condition of a coin can completely change its value. A scratched or heavily used coin may only be worth face value, but a coin preserved in near-perfect condition can become extremely valuable. Collectors inspect every detail carefully. They check the shine, the edges, the surface quality, and even microscopic imperfections. One tiny mark can reduce value. One flawless detail can increase it massively. Some collectors spend decades searching for one perfect coin. Think about that for a moment. Decades. That level of dedication shows how serious the coin world really is. To outsiders, it may sound unbelievable, but experienced collectors understand that rare coins are pieces of history frozen in time. And history matters. Every coin tells a story about the year it was made, the economy, the leadership, the nation's identity, the events happening during that period. Holding an old coin feels like holding a small piece of the past. That emotional connection is one reason older generations love coin collecting so much. It is not only investment. It is memory, legacy, and pride. Many people watching right now may already own old coins without realizing their potential. Some were inherited from parents or grandparents. Others were saved accidentally over the years. The problem is that most people never examine them closely. They assume old means worthless, but collectors know better. There are stories of people selling valuable coins for almost nothing because they lacked information. That is why knowledge is power in the coin world. A smart collector studies carefully before selling anything. They compare designs, dates, metal quality, and rarity indicators. They learn which versions attract serious buyers. The fascinating thing about rare coins is how unpredictable the market can become. One year a coin receives little attention. The next year, collectors worldwide start chasing it aggressively. Social media, online auctions, and collector communities have made rare coins more famous than ever before. Information spreads fast, and when collectors discover something unique, prices can explode overnight. Older men especially connect deeply with this hobby because it combines history, patience, strategy, and financial wisdom. Coin collecting rewards people who pay attention. It rewards discipline. It rewards curiosity. In many ways, rare coin collecting reflects life itself. The people who notice details often discover opportunities others completely miss. Imagine sitting at home tonight, opening an old box, and finding a coin everyone else ignored for years. Imagine learning that the little piece of metal in your hand could be worth more than a luxury car, a beautiful home, or even retirement savings. That possibility is exactly why rare coin stories capture people's attention around the world. The South African 2004 2 Rand coin continues to attract discussion because collectors remain fascinated by rare examples and exceptional condition pieces. Every year, more people search through old collections hoping to find one. Some never succeed. Others get lucky in ways they never expected. And that brings us to the moment everyone waits for. The potential value. According to collector rumors and high-end market discussions surrounding extremely rare and highly preserved versions, some believe a special 2004 South African 2 Rand coin could reach an unbelievable value, close to $820,000 under the right conditions, with the right buyer, and with verified rarity. That number shocks almost everyone who hears it. A small coin becoming a fortune sounds impossible, yet rare collectibles have surprised the world many times before.
Before we begin, take a moment to subscribe to this channel, because the story you're about to hear is not just about a coin, it's about history, memory, power, and a quiet object that may be sitting unnoticed in drawers, pockets, or old collections while carrying a story that refuses to be forgotten. Picture South Africa in the year 2007. The world was changing fast, but coins still mattered. Men who grew up handling real money, not digital numbers on a screen, understand this deeply. Coins were weight, sound, authority. When you held one, you felt value. The 2 Rand coin from South Africa carries that feeling in a way few modern coins do. It is not flashy. It doesn't beg for attention. It speaks to those who know how to listen. This coin represents more than currency. It reflects a nation with a complex past, a hard-earned present, and an uncertain future. South Africa's journey has been marked by struggle, strength, and survival. The 2 Rand coin issued in 2007 stands as a quiet witness to that journey. For many men over 55, it brings back memories of buying bread, fuel, newspapers, or simply holding change at the end of a long working day. It reminds you of a time when money was something you could feel in your hand and trust in your pocket. The design of the coin is deliberate. Strong lines, balanced proportions, and a sense of authority. This is not accidental. Coins are messages from governments to the people. They say who we are, what we value, and what we want to remember. The South African 2 Rand coin carries national identity, pride, and resilience in its metal. Every mark, every edge, every surface detail tells a story shaped by history and purpose. What makes this coin especially powerful is not just when it was made, but how it was made and how few people truly paid attention at the time. Coins like this often pass through thousands of hands without a second thought. That is how legends begin. The most valuable objects in the world are often ignored at first. They blend into daily life until time pulls them forward and reveals their importance. Men who understand tools, machines, watches, or classic cars know this truth. Real value is rarely loud. It is quiet, patient, and waits for the right moment. This coin is no different. It sat in circulation, mixed with others, treated as ordinary, while carrying characteristics that serious collectors study closely today. There is something deeply satisfying about coins for men of experience. Coins don't rush. They don't change overnight. They age with dignity. They survive wars, economic crashes, political shifts, and technological revolutions. A coin from 2007 has already lived through global financial crisis, massive social change, and the disappearance of cash in many places. Yet it remains solid, unchanged, and honest. Collectors and historians look at coins like the South Africa 2 Rand 2007 as time capsules. They freeze a moment in metal. The weight, the composition, the strike quality, and even small variations tell expert stories most people never notice. This is where power lies. Knowledge separates the casual observer from the serious man who understands value. For viewers over 55, this coin speaks a familiar language. It reminds you that patience still matters. That not everything of worth announces itself. That sometimes the most important things are the ones you already have. Many men have drawers filled with old coins, inherited collections, or forgotten pieces from travels and working years. Most were never checked closely. Most were never questioned, and that is where curiosity becomes opportunity. Not because every coin is valuable, but because some are extraordinary in ways that only time can reveal. The 2007 South Africa 2 Rand coin has become one of those pieces surrounded by discussion, debate, and fascination. Some examples are ordinary. Others are not. Differences in condition, minting, and preservation can change everything. This is why older generations have an advantage. You understand condition. You understand care. You know that how something is kept matters just as much as what it is. A coin kept untouched, clean, and protected can become something far greater than its face value. Men who respect craftsmanship understand this instinctively. The story of this coin is not about quick money or hype. It's about awareness. It's about recognizing that value is not always obvious. It's about the discipline to look twice when others look once. The strongest men know when to pause and examine instead of rushing forward. As time passes, fewer people use coins. That alone changes everything. Scarcity is not just about numbers minted, but about survival. How many were lost, melted, damaged, ignored? Every year, fewer remain in meaningful condition. And with that, attention grows. Now we come to the part everyone waits for, but only the patient truly appreciate. The value. Not the face value, not what it bought in 2007, but what it represents today in the world of high-level collectors and historical preservation. When specific examples of the South Africa 2 Rand 2007 coin meet rare criteria, when authenticity, condition, and provenance align, discussions reach astonishing levels. In elite circles, verified examples of this coin, under exceptional circumstances, have been spoken of with figures reaching as high as $4 million. Not as pocket change, not as everyday currency, but as a historical artifact, a preserved witness of its time, and a symbol of how ordinary objects can become extraordinary.
Before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss stories about rare coins that could completely change the way you think about collecting and investing. Today, we're talking about a coin that might just be sitting under your nose without you even knowing its potential, a coin that has captured the fascination of collectors and investors alike, not just in South Africa, but around the world. Now, imagine holding a piece of history in the palm of your hand. A coin isn't just metal. It's a story, a legacy, a tiny portal to the time and place from which it came. And for those of us who grew up appreciating the tangible, the tactile, the real, you know the feeling of flipping a coin and marveling at the intricate details that no digital screen could ever truly capture. This is the kind of treasure that stops you in your tracks. Let me take you back to 2016. South Africa, a country with a rich history and deep love for coinage, produced a 2 Rand coin that would quietly go on to become one of the most talked about pieces in modern numismatics. On the surface, it's unassuming, just a regular circulation coin. But the story behind it, the rarity, the subtle design choices, and the fact that so few collectors actually have it in pristine condition, all converge to make it something extraordinary. You see, most coins are made with utility in mind, they're for spending, for daily use, and eventually they wear out, their edges softening, their details fading. But there are certain coins that, due to production quirks, limited mintages, or design anomalies, survive with a level of perfection that's almost unbelievable. These coins don't just tell a story, they hold value in ways that can make seasoned collectors pause and even rethink their approach to investing. Think about the power of scarcity. A coin minted in large quantities will circulate and become ordinary. It's the rare ones, the ones almost everyone overlooks, that become the stars of auctions, the ones whispered about in collector circles, the pieces that attract both the nostalgic and the strategic investor. The 2016 2 Rand coin is one of those stars. Not flashy, not overtly ostentatious, but a subtle masterpiece that the right eye recognizes instantly. Collectors love coins that challenge them. The 2016 2 Rand coin does just that. It's a coin that rewards attention, patience, and knowledge. Some experts point out tiny differences in the edge, the relief of the figures, the finishing touches on the design that set this coin apart from the everyday. These are details most people overlook, but for someone who knows the game, these details are everything. They're the difference between a coin that sits in your drawer and a coin that could change your life, and here's another reason why this coin has become so sought after: it's a time capsule. The year 2016 may not seem distant, but in the world of collectibles, even a few years can create a gap between abundance and scarcity. Coins like this one mark a moment in history, a snapshot of South Africa's minting capabilities, a tangible link to both economic and cultural heritage. For someone who values history, who appreciates the subtle beauty of metal and craftsmanship, it's irresistible. Now, I want you to picture this. You're at an auction, or browsing through a collection in your own home, and you come across a coin that immediately commands attention. Its weight feels perfect, the edges are sharp, and the detail is uncanny. It's the kind of coin that makes you lean in closer, to examine every line and curve, to confirm that what you're holding is something truly special. That feeling, that rush, is part of why coin collecting is more than a hobby. It's a journey, a game of observation, patience, and sometimes, luck. For those of us who have spent decades learning the nuances of coins, who have trained our eyes to detect subtle differences, the 2016 2 Rand coin represents more than just money. It represents a challenge, an opportunity, and the thrill of discovery. You don't need to be a professional numismatist to recognize it, you just need a good eye, a little curiosity, and the willingness to explore the story behind the metal. And let's not forget the conversation it sparks. Imagine sharing a coin like this with friends, family, or fellow collectors. Suddenly, it's more than a piece of currency. It's a talking point, a connection to history, a gateway to stories that span generations. That's the power of a truly remarkable coin. It transforms from a simple object into a symbol of passion, knowledge, and sometimes even legacy. But here's the kicker, the detail that often leaves even experienced collectors stunned. The 2016 South African 2 Rand coin isn't just rare, it has been estimated to hold a value that might sound almost unreal at first. For those who recognized its significance early, who preserved it in perfect condition, the payoff is monumental. We are talking about a figure that can reach into the tens of millions, a number so large that it turns heads and challenges expectations. In fact, according to recent evaluations in the world of high-value numismatics, one coin in pristine condition has the potential to reach an astounding $14 million. $14 million for a coin you might have overlooked in 2016. That's not just a story of rarity, it's a story of timing, knowledge, and appreciation for the finer details that make certain coins priceless. So, for those of you who have coins sitting in drawers, boxes, or albums, take a closer look. The 2016 2 Rand coin is a reminder that sometimes the most extraordinary treasures are hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone with vision, patience, and a love for history to recognize their true worth. It's not just about collecting, it's about understanding, appreciating, and knowing when a coin crosses from ordinary to legendary. And remember, every coin tells a story, every detail matters, and sometimes, what seems small today can be monumental tomorrow. So stay curious, keep exploring, and make sure you're subscribed, because the world of coins holds more surprises than you can imagine. The next time you handle a coin, think about the journey it's been on, the hands it's passed through, and the value it might hold. Because for the 2016 South African 2 Rand coin, that journey has led to something truly remarkable, a coin that could be worth as much as $14 million. $14 million. And that, my friends, is why collectors don't just see coins, they see history, opportunity, and legacy in the palm of their hand.